I am a huge fan of this show.
Aww.
And I happen to be huge fans of you guys, too.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sure everybody's excited for season 2. You're hearing it from your fans. We're hearing it from our fans. Are you guys excited to let the world see season 2 of Outlander?
Yeah, of course. You know, we've been working very hard on it for the last about 10 months, and you know, it's a very different show in a way. This season is sort of a season of 2 halves. The first half of the season, we are in France. So visually, it's very different. We have lots of new characters coming in, and I think the fans are all going to be really excited for that. But yet, at the same time, we still have Claire and Jamie as the center, so there'll be that familiarity as well.
And for those, and it's a very minute, small audience, for those people who haven't heard about Outlander, let's take a step back and just talk about what this show is actually about.
Yes, Outlander is based on a series of books by Diana Gabaldon. They are best-selling books. She's currently writing her latest one. She was actually on set with us shooting one of our last episodes, and she was currently writing it whilst on set, which is pretty fantastic. And they're about our Claire Randall, who goes is a 1940s field nurse. She goes back in time to 18th century Scotland, gets caught up in some politics there, gets taken care of by a Highland clan. It feels like so long ago talking about this.
Well, this Highland clan happens to have the dashing Jamie Fraser, played by Sam, and they fall in love. First, they have to get married to kind of protect her from the British, but then they fall in love. Yeah. And it's the continuing story of them.
The last season, which was split up into basically 2 seasons, had audiences on a roller coaster ride that kind of pretty stayed true to the books. And there were some tough scenes that you guys went after and did beautifully, I might add. I'm into the second book, reading it right now. Does the second season follow the book similarly, or will we stray from the books?
I think there are some structural changes, but we definitely follow the overall arc of the story. I think that book 2, I think even Diana would say, is a more difficult book to adapt. So there were a few liberties taken, but primarily it sticks to the story very well.
I think it does, yeah. I think we've been really true to it. And I think the changes that we have made, I think Diana approved. And as you said, yeah, it's a pretty tough book. There's a lot of jumping around, time-wise.
Yes. Oh, okay. So we can talk about that, that there is some time jumping?
I think so, yeah. I think that when you meet us, when we begin with episode 1, it starts in a place that I think very few people will expect. We see Claire return to her own time, to the 40s. And so it's a very dramatic opening. And then we will quickly go back to Claire and Jamie, where we left them off just about a week after that, and we see them arrive in France. And it's such a hopeful moment that it's quite jarring to try and think of how they got to that place from there. So you know that you're in for a roller coaster ride for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. I saw the first episode, and it was, as a fan, I was like, oh, you know, because I just love you guys together, and I think that Frank has some John Randall badness on him. So as a fan, you're not a fan of Frank so much, and so when you go back, you're like, oh, okay, all right,
these are our people.
Yes, we're back. And what was it like shooting in France? Because you guys have been in Scotland for most of season 1.
Well, we weren't exactly in France.
Oh, is that TJ
Paris.
or TV Magic?
Yes.
Paris a la Scotland.
Yeah. Paris out of Scotland. No, Gary Steele this year, he just outdid himself. I mean, the sets that we shot at are just the most incredibly sumptuous, beautiful sets. Our Parisian apartment in particular, it was just magnificent. I mean, you know, I kind of felt like I was living in a very stately Parisian home for a while. It sort of went to my head.
Could have lived there.
Yeah, I definitely could have lived there. And then we ended up shooting in Prague for a little bit that doubled up as Paris in the 1700s, because Paris nowadays just doesn't look like it did back then. So And we also used some other locations. We went to England for a little while, and that sort of doubled up as Versailles. So, you know, it just visually is so different because we're so used to being out in the wilds and in the highlands, and, you know, it's very much steeped in nature, and this is very much in interiors and cityscapes, and, you know, so I think it's going to be just a really nice juxtaposition from last season. So, yeah, I'm excited for people to see it.
Your fans are so committed to you in a way that I don't think I've ever seen with any other show that we talk about on Dish. What is it like to be the recipients of that much attention?
Yeah, we're really lucky. I mean, we've always said that our fans have just supported us in everything we do. We have our own charities, myself and Caitriona's, and the fans have, you know, supported them and done, you know, events for them and raised money and awareness.
Money.
Yeah, so it's great, and anything we basically, you know, put our voice to, they back and get behind, and that sort of generosity of spirit and sort of community as well is yeah, it's great, and it seems to be, you know, all encompassing. They all love the books and the show, and they get behind everything we do. So thank you.
I think it's interesting how popular this show has become because I have myself the Outlander adult coloring book.
Oh, wow.
I was wondering if you
Adult.
guys might take the time to color a few pages. Have you seen this?
Yeah. Wow.
It's like mindful coloring,
Right?
you know?
Yes, yes. Oh, there's the car. Congratulations. We're rooting for you, and we can't wait for season 2 of Outlander on Stars.
Thank you so much. Which is absolutely beautiful. I'd never been here before. And we chose Prague because Paris of today does not look like Paris of the 18th century.